I'm Charles David. I'm an artist, an educator, and community advocate, and currently working on a project, a song entitled Can You Hear Me Now, in collaboration with Jay Wall, who's the producer of the Wall Fact Studios, as well as another artist, Britney. And the song came about out of a need and a desire to help. Just looking in our community and the world we live in and the news and the media, we see, unfortunately, outpours of violence, and in a lot of cases it stems from mental wellness issues. And as an artist, I wanted to use my art to help. I wanted to be a voice. And I believe all artists should strive to be a part of a cause that's bigger than themselves.
Can You Hear Me Now is a song that's actually touching a nerve in our society. As a pastor in Baltimore City, the challenges of people struggling with mental health issues, but also just life issues that compound and accentuate the losses and the grief of under-resourced communities, the issues of fatherlessness and the issues of poverty. All those compounding things heighten despair. And one jumped off the 41st Street Bridge over the Jones Falls. The other, a year or two later, jumped off the 28th Street Bridge. And so I kind of was baptized into the fire of these issues. And I realized that this song raises the issue, can you hear me now, is a cry for us to be engaged.
And the song painted a picture of the isolation that persons feel when they don't know how to cope with experiencing trauma, being victims of trauma, and even being participants in traumatic events. So I think that the song is very real in that it sounds the alarm so that we as mental health professionals can recognize the disparities in getting access to treatment. And I think the problem that we face in our community is denial. We face stigma. Persons who need to seek help are often afraid or are ashamed because of being labeled as mentally ill or crazy.
Well, I definitely thought it was a great song, just musically catchy, good information. Some of the ways that you can recognize if a person is being a victim of bullying is to consider what are their behavior changes as well as what are their emotional changes. There are a lot of tragedies in the news lately as far as children or someone going into a school, a middle school, elementary school, or high schools, or even colleges, and they're shooting at people on campus, people going into their jobs and killing people, their other co-workers, people even going into churches and having those type of shootings happen. The reason for that could often be attributed to them having a history of being bullied, whether they're being bullied by their parents at home, other classmates, or other co-workers. What they're doing is they're trying to find a way to release and get back their power. So most often, that person is saying, as you so explicitly said, can you hear me now? I told you I needed help. Maybe I didn't say it the right way. You saw that I was scared. You knew that this was right. You saw that I was not going to class on time. You didn't hear me say those subliminal messages. So can you hear me now? I'm shooting up all your kids. I'm shooting up the people at my job because you didn't protect me, so therefore I will now protect myself. And so that's where that homicide comes from. And it happens whether on this military installations, in schools, like I said, even on the streets, it will happen because they're looking for some way to regain a sense of control. Albeit unhealthy, that's their way of looking back and surviving.
Crying